Vince McMahon finally steps down and Triple H is taking full control of WWE, I could see Triple H kind of like reaching out and kind of pulling like the old territorial thing and working like how NJPW and Ring of Honor work together. I can see Triple H taking WWE and reaching out to like Cody Rhodes to be like, "Hey, you want to do some co-branded stuff?" And like it's like All Elite / WWE present.
Because Cody Rhodes has the problem with Vince McMahon, right? With the McMahon family.
It's more with Vince because he was in love with that Stardust character. Even though Cody was like, can I please just drop it? Vince was like, no. So because Vince McMahon just holds WWE in such high pedestal compared to all the other wrestling companies, and to be fair, you can see why, but the fact that like they're holding themselves on such a high pedestal in comparing to all the other wrestling companies, it would be nice for them to like lower themselves and be like, okay, we are professional wrestling, we are one big family, and it's nice to be like, okay, let's kind of spread out to this family and help make names, not just with WWE but with other wrestling in promotions as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, unfortunately, we need to go back to the dark side one more time. We have to go for worst pay-per-view of the year.
I feel like this is easy.
Is it? Tarek, where are you going with this?
I'm going with Backlash.
Oh. Okay.
All right.
There wasn't
so easy.
Oh, my bad. Crown Jewel basically it's in its own other category, but when I'm just looking at just pay-per-view all in general, and when I looked at Backlash, it just was nonstop disappointment on every factor. And it's even funny because I know a couple of people who went to that show at Prudential, and just they were saying how like it was the crowd had such high hopes in the beginning, and then it just got sucked away from them throughout the show, and I even felt that when I was watching it. So. Yeah, Backlash was just it was just terrible. Yeah. Crown Jewel was a close second to making it the worst pay-per-view, but Crown Jewel has its own category later.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Crown Jewel here just because of how disappointing it is and just how poor-spirited it just felt. It just felt wrong on so many different levels. I didn't want to watch it. I felt like I had to watch it, but I did not enjoy it at all.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Crown Jewel as well. The booking was bad. Horrible decision-making. Shane, really? Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar, really? And everything also... You have to take into account the stigma around the event at that time as well. Like going into it, I don't think anybody really wanted to watch it because of what the message was sent by the WWE. We don't give a shit.
Really, it's actually because of that. It's in a different category that we need to.
I think I know where you're going with that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's and the fact that we said, okay, we're gonna sit down and watch it, okay, and then that is what you give us. As it, yeah, you had some good tournament matches, okay, but the way you ended that tournament was asinine. Okay.
To be fair, the tournament itself was asinine.
Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar. Horrible. And I said that I didn't take it into account for worst match of the year due to extenuating circumstances, but yeah, DX versus the Brothers of Destruction. Because of those extenuating circumstances, not good. So everything that you built that pay-per-view around, you fucked up. And you fucked up by actually having the event in the first place. So while I see your other category, and I know what other category that is. I can't let it slide on this either.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I was just thinking more on just the pay-per-view itself, and there were, like you said, there were the tournament matches that were actually were pretty good. I was looking at more than just the paper. I was like, when it comes to Crown Jewel, it's more than just the pay-per-view for me. But I'm thinking just strictly the pay-per-view, and yeah, Backlash just left that gross taste in my mouth that not even Crown Jewel pay-per-view wise can
outmask.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, on a little bit of another high note, because we like to switch it up on this show, this next category is something that I feel like we might want to talk about maybe retiring next year, just because of what this person pulled off, and this is for the category of Women's Wrestler of the Year, strictly because you cannot put anyone other than Becky Lynch.
No,
if you're putting anyone other than Becky Lynch, you are wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can just announce. We don't even have to go into this one. The answer is Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Quick as a daisy. Now,
what more could we?
If you have anybody else as Women's Wrestler of the Year, you're a failure turtle, and you'll be wrong.
It's like Charlotte. No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm joking.
Get down. That's it.
No,
I just had to pull one of his douche cards out.
Yes. And speaking of douche cards, we have the Need of Clear Liquid Award, which talks about some of the worst moments or matches, whatever, that just makes us need to take an extra sip of the clear liquid just to get the nastiness out of our mouth. Who's up?
Let's see.
You're up? Okay. What needed you to take an extra sip of the clear liquid? Just to refresh yourself.
We've already spoke of it. It's everything leading around Crown Jewel. Like need a sip of the clear liquid. I needed the whole damn jug. Let's put it like that. Okay. Everything leading around it with what was going on in Saudi Arabia at the time. Okay? Your fans told you no. Your wrestlers told you no.
Some high executives
told you no. The McMahon family and their bank account says yes. Okay? So, automatically, okay, nobody wants to watch this thing. We do it because of the content of our show. Okay? But if we were not doing this, would we have watched this show?
No.
Honestly.
No. I would not.
Okay?
Hell, I was working.
And then
when I had this thing on.
And then, okay, once again, okay, if you do run this show and you make people watch and you do what your as I've said, fans, wrestlers, high executives have told you to fuck off. Okay, you better make this the best damn fucking thing you've ever run. Okay? And what they gave us,
it was a troll show.
And it was 6 hours long. Troll show.
It was
Yeah, I did not need a sip of clear liquid. I got alcohol poisoning off of this shit.
Yeah, it was Crown Jewel in general. Everything around Crown Jewel, everything with Saudi Arabia, and Vince was just everything was just pointing at the fact that what the Crown Prince allowed. But we won't go into that. But it was just even to the point where even the government was trying. It's like, it may have been best if you guys don't really go, and now we have to deal. It's like, no, Vince McMahon. It's like, my bank account is now just having the billions and billions and billions. So And then because of all the controversy surrounding it, we got, as I called it before, a troll show. We got a pretty good, decent tournament that led to Shane McMahon winning and now giving us pretty much the worst SmackDown feud going on right now. Not even a few good SmackDown storyline going on with Shane McMahon and The Miz becoming the besties in the world. You have Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. And it just takes the Crown Prince money to get Shawn Michaels out of retirement just to show that, yeah, they're too old for this shit. So, like I said, when it was just the pay-per-view, I still thought Backlash was the worst show, but everything around it, this was more than just the pay-per-view, and it was at that point where you were just ashamed to be a WWE fan, not a wrestling, a WWE fan for the choices they made, and the fact that we're still getting Saudi Arabia shows from for next year.
Unfortunately, and hopefully...
What's the contract, 10 years?
I don't even remember. The point is, I'm with you all the way. This was just a very, very sour moment on a professional wrestling standpoint. And it was just very mean-spirited. It was just, like I said before, it just felt wrong. But enough of all that negative crap. Now let's get to the You're Welcome Award for the best moment of the year. A highlight, a match, a moment, whatever it is. This is one of those things where you just have to stand up and say, thank you, wrestling, for what you have given us. Now.
Champ closes it. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Cody Rhodes winning the NWA Heavyweight Championship, just for the whole winning the same championship that his dad won, and just all what he accomplished on the All In pay-per-view. It was the true feel-good moment for me. It almost made me cry. Just seeing the response that Goldust did in response to it. It just was that ultimate feel-good moment. Granted, it was very short-lived since he lost the belt a short time later.
But it still happened.
But it still happened, and it was that feel-good moment.
Mm-hmm. For me, I'm going to go with another really big feel-good moment, but I'm going to have to go with the clearance of Daniel Bryan. Just to see how shattered he was when he was forced into retirement, only to have him come back in what I can only describe as a medical miracle. It's that, to me, for a myriad of reasons, especially to see where he's at now in the matches we're enjoying, that we don't have to worry about his future. It's just a man who's super talented at his work, who is now free to do it again after thinking he'd lost it all. There are certain times in wrestling where you just can't write or book a good angle, like a good enough angle. This is one of those things where, in those moments where it just transcends wrestling and just makes me love it so much.
This one's actually a little tough for me, because at first I was going to go with my image of the year, which was it started off as something really bad but turned into something like really good when you think about it and what it could mean in the long run. When Nia Jax punched Becky Lynch in the face,
that awesome visual of
of the blood and her just jaw-jacking at the camera, like, this is huge.
He got the Cesaro level erection from that.
But then
I went there.
But then you think about either. Erections all day. But
now,
even though I wasn't around to watch it live, okay, I saw highlights of All In. I saw highlights of it. I couldn't give it best pay-per-view because I didn't watch it live. But I saw highlights, and that everything leading up to it and everything that has come from it. Okay, the day that it happened, there was a feeling in the air